gonna be honest with you, man. This was not a good representation of black people for me.
Not at all.
Like I did not enjoy this show.
I didn't like this show at all. I'm gonna be honest. And I know we early in the review. We usually save this for the end, but if you were wondering.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Cinecism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Netflix original series, #BlackAF.
This show is kind of a office-style, Curb Your Enthusiasm style. It's like in a vein of a docu-series type show, but it's like a parody of Kenya Barris's life, basically, based on his actual life, his family and his kids and everything. It's about a black man living he in California?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Of course, Kenya Barriss, those unfamiliar, he's responsible for shows like Blackish, Mixish, and what's the other one? One more, I think.
Is it? Okay.
It's another ish.
Oh, is it Grownish?
Grownish, yeah.
So you say it's another ish.
Yeah. The show, it touches on a lot of different topics, like race and perception of black people in the media.
His family is kind of used as a conduit to get a lot of these issues out. Like, he'll be talking to his kids, he'll be talking to his wife, and bring up a lot of these issues that kind of come with not only being black in America, but being wealthy and black in America. They tackle a lot of that, too.
Talk about Kenya Barriss, right, who's the main character of the show. He's a father, the head of the household. He's married to Rashida Jones in the show. Her name is what again?
Jayla.
Kenya is a very, he's unfiltered, got a bold personality, but at the same time, man, he was very whiny in his show.
I was just about to say that.
It kind of bothered me.
I was just about to say that.
Like, from his voice. Yeah. He does, sound like a dick, but like his voice.
What are we doing, guys? What the fuck? Really, bro?
It's an acquired taste, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have a taste for it.
It took me a few episodes just to even just get used to like hearing him talking about things.
I would say initially him is the character because in the first two episodes he's kind of the focal point. The kids and the wife are kind of the background. He talked a lot in the first two episodes, and that was probably the biggest hurdle for me to initially get over. I understood what he was saying, and I thought he brought up a lot of valid points, but his delivery was so poor, and it just came across as very whiny and just, I don't know, man. It just didn't resonate with me. Then you got his wife, Jayla.
Rashida. I mean, she's okay.
I personally love Rashida.
I like her.
I don't really like her that much in this show.
I didn't dislike her anywhere near as much as I did Kenya in this show.
No, not at all.
She had an interesting perspective too, just being like coming from a mixed background.
Yeah.
But she identifies as black, as most mixed people do. It's always interesting to hear their perspective. It brings a different worldview.
She had a more sensitive approach when it came to their family and when it came to different topics. I felt like she was just as passionate about what he was passionate about when it came to black issues, but her delivery and I don't know, she just brought a certain nurturing quality and sensitivity to the topic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Then you got the daughter, Drea. Yeah, she's kind of doing like her own documentary within the show. It's like part of a project she's doing. Which
I personally thought that was clever, at least how they justified having that single camera type of show.
Yeah.
It was all based off the fact that she was shooting this documentary for film school, which I thought was one of the clever aspects of the show.
She's a very intelligent girl. She's very aware, culturally aware. I liked her perspective as well. She had some of her father's tendencies, but she also had some of her mother's tendencies
I would agree.
So I thought she was a good balance of both of them.
I like Drea. Initially, I didn't care for any of the characters really.
Actually, I hated everybody equally, but I digress.
I always appreciate intelligent children because I do feel like children are intelligent. So I like when shows convey that these ain't just kids running around here saying whatever, doing whatever.
You got the oldest daughter who we see her,
Chloe.
Chloe. We don't see her as frequently as the other kids because she's going to college. She's there, but she's kind of experiencing like her young adult life.
She was kind of there as a plot device. Like she had certain episodes that I thought she would do something and that, in some way projected the story.
Kind of doing her own thing.
She's like that typical young, I want to adhere to a lot of the trends and on Instagram, very much care about her appearance, her looks. She kind of fits that mold of what you would think a typical young 21-year-old might be.
Then you have the other daughter who...
Izzy.
She's going through something.
Yeah.
A young teenage girl that's trying to figure herself out or some shit.
She had like a identity crisis because at first she was a tomboy, then she was kind of a weirdo. I thought they was trying to paint her as like the odd one.
Like the black sheep.
Yeah, she looked like maybe she was 13, 14, something like that. That's accurate. You trying to find your identity. You starting to search for yourself in that way a little bit more. I thought she portrayed who she was at her core. Clearly she was one of them cool, laid back chick. She was a little cynical, but she did seem like she was trying to find what her theme was throughout the show because I couldn't pinpoint it. I thought I knew who she was at the beginning of the show. Did you like her?
You know, I don't know who I liked in this show.
And that's
like
where
liked, you know what I mean? I can't say liked.
That's where I'm at.
They just a lot of them just existed to me.
That's fair. You got the two young boys, which we could just group together. You got Pops and you got Cam.
They interchangeable.
Yeah, right.
They young boys.
Yeah,
wilding the fuck out.
That's it. Getting into young boys,
crazy shit. Right. Two of the funniest people on this show.
I agree, especially in this family dynamic because I felt like everybody in this family shared a personality. They all had a general outlook. Like, they all were cynics. So it was good to have them, like, young kids there that kind of represent that innocence. I enjoyed them. They were cool. You don't really get to know them much. You don't really get to know much of these people, period.
Nobody really feels like real people to me, I guess. It just seems like everybody has, like, a objective. Their characters created, like, to accomplish something.
To fill a box.
But what's crazy is, I mean, it's like a parody of his family, so I don't know how true or accurate some of the portrayals are.
Yeah.
Because I don't know his family personally. So some things that I liked about this show, some of the history lessons, I always appreciate that when they bring things to light that aren't common knowledge to the general populace.
I agree.
There's not a lot of things I liked about this show.
I'm trying to tell you.
But
I enjoy those moments where the show would kind of step away, and I think they tackled a lot of really good issues on this show. They brought up some interesting points, and I think they even talked about some stuff that we don't really quite mention much. They mentioned how black girls are viewed, as over-sexual. That's not a stigma that they put on other races, and I thought that was interesting, which is a topic I'm aware of, but it's not really brought to the light much. They talked about just black success. What is the difference between supporting black people but still making sure that we uplifting what's good? They brought up a lot of interesting points about family, like what's it mean to be a family? What's it mean to be a black family? What's it mean to be a black rich family? They tackled a lot of issues, and I thought that was where the show shined the most. And it had heartfelt moments, man, in this show. And I just wish that was more of the show that we got.
A lot of people confuse like privilege with financial status. The two are not like synonymous. Yeah. Aside from black people having money, it's still a whole system that they have to combat that was built off of prejudice. People think because people have money that they have no kind of problem.
Oh, I see.
It brought some of those issues to light. I always appreciate that. I just felt like you said,
it was just, into the dislikes. Okay. Because this is where I got a clip.
Yeah. We can go ahead and segue into dislikes. Like I said, it was a very poor representation. Granted, I'm not saying that all black people should be represented as, underprivileged or living in poverty or something, or struggling constantly.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean. It's just like the mentality I didn't appreciate how they would portray.
Yeah. I think this show was its own problem. The execution behind the goal they were going for, falling short of that is what made this show damn near unwatchable. This show was trying to be more of an in-your-face Blackish. It was in your face to the point where, one, it was preachy. Two, the characters didn't feel like real people to me. Okay, you're black and you had a stigma, but you also got to live your life as who you are. You can't live in fear of racism and you can't live in fear of prejudice. You got to kind of live in your existence. And if you challenged on that, then you'll have the info to combat it. But I don't think you should be always looking for racist situations and racial issues, even though I know that dominates a lot of our society. You should be aware of it and cognizant of it. And when you in a moment where that confronts you, you should be ready to combat it immediately. You can't have every step you take be like, oh, it's just race, bro, and everything with race, especially when, to me, I think a lot of his issues in this show were just that he wasn't a good person. I don't know if it was racially motivated.
I think that's what it really boiled down to. He was he wasn't a very likable person.
Not
in the show.
All.
Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how close to accurate that is to his actual personality, but in the show, he was not very likable, man.
Not at all.
And you know what I found myself, now that we're discussing it, what I found myself comparing this show to? Shows like Fresh Prince and Family Matters that I feel like did a good job at spreading a message and awareness, but still staying tactful about it. I mean, I guess that's not the point of the show, and I get that. It's supposed to be unfiltered and direct. Yeah. But I felt like I thought about episodes, like the more conscious episodes of like Family Matters and Fresh Prince, where they touched on those topics, and it was just done so much better, man.
Yes. For me personally, and I think for most people, is that when you watch a show, especially when you commit to a show, movies are different, but a show, when you sit in there and commit to episodes, it's usually because you identify on some level with a character or multiple characters on the show. You like these people. So when stuff happened to them, when Uncle Phil talked to Will, or when Aunt Bill talked to Will about
some of the best moments of that show.
This is kind of almost synonymous with that because they were rich and black too. This show kind of had a renegade approach. I don't feel like it knew what it wanted to be. Tone-wise, it was all over the place to me. It would try to be Family Matters. Then it would try to be black as fuck. Then it would try to be grownish. Then it would try to be a documentary. It just wasn't done well. Like, even the moments that I like where they stepped away and told you about, issues, they would do these montages, and the montages were long as hell. It felt like a completely different show. It was confusing and hard to watch because the people you didn't give two damns about, and then also you didn't quite know what type of show you were watching.
I will say this though, the show did, at least for me, get progressively better as it got toward the end of the season. It improved, like, with the format and the narrative, I guess. Those first few episodes just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth.
And then also, man, this is just me from a person perspective, something that I genuinely, a pet peeve of mine. I did not like the way he was talking to his kids, bro. I know this show was trying to go for that whole Malcolm in the Middle approach, which is like, hey, we are family assholes, but somehow it's charming.
Yeah.
But they missed the charming part. He was talking to his daughters. He was like, yo, the fuck you doing? The fuck you going? The fuck I was just like, yo. And like, it's crazy. To me, don't talk to your sons like that. I know we do them double standards where it's like anything goes for your sons, but your daughters are precious. I think your kids are precious. You shouldn't be saying fuck you to your son and none of that neither. But to talk to your daughters like that, it's nuts to me.
So overall, Black AF, the Netflix original series, I feel like I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I mean, it had few good aspects, I suppose, but the problem was it was buried by the things I didn't like.
Listen, man, I really went back and forth on what I thought about this show. I legitimately had trouble getting through these episodes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't enjoy much of this show at all, except for near the end. I did respect what they were trying to do. I saw the vision. The execution just fell real short for me, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Black AF a 4. It's not the worst show I've ever seen, but I didn't enjoy this show, man. I would be lying to you if I told you I did.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in for our review of the Netflix original series, Black AF. Yeah.
Shout out to Crystal for recommending the show.
Yeah, what up? Thanks.
Right.
As always, if you enjoyed this review, like, share, subscribe, and comment if you want to see us review anything else. Movies, shows, trailers, anything.
I'm curious to what y'all might have thought about it. Did you enjoy it? I'm really interested in people's perspectives on this show.
I can't say anybody that I know liking this show, personally. I personally know.
I thought that till my homegirl told me she liked it. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk offline.
Right. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. Peace.